Hey, IDS 302. Welcome to Module 5, or the end of Module 4. It's still Sunday, November 14th. It is about 10:45 a.m. Still a little nippy out here in Phoenix. Love it, love it. Sick of it being so hot. Let me get this stick out of the way. Hey, I wanted to get going on these. I prepped my videos the other day and said, just stop looking. Let's just do it. So let's talk about a couple of um, housekeeping items I like to talk about. I'll include these links. Uh, so here's one. Matthew Hulver. Why is it taking so long out there? Matthew Hulver joins ASU. Oh my God, I thought that was my soda. Okay, there it is. Matthew Hulver joins ASU as Vice President of Research. Vice President of Research, that's right up our alley, right? But you can see, just in looking at articles like this and looking at research that you run into, that sorry to be shaking this table. I got to try not to do that. That you see that research is different when you get to this level, as opposed to, like I said, researching a trip, researching a new car, which are all valid things, but used in a totally different context, right? Okay, so that's one link I wanted to mention. And there's another one from Arizona Central. Nope, that's for a different class. Actually, that's okay. How did that one sneak in there? Um, okay, step 3, how's it going? I haven't looked yet. The discussion board was good. Just like I said, the main thing on step 3 is that you really be precise on the formatting. By the way, go Packers today. Be precise on the formatting and watch that video that I posted in the submission page and in the learning materials. You can see, you know, it's a really good less than 5 minute video. It's a real good precise one. Follow those because I'm gonna score based on that. You can look at that as a rubric if you want. Okay. So yes, discussion board, I gave wide latitude. Of course, you can't format there really well. Of course, I don't expect you to really do the analysis the same way, but you can use those sources. That was a little preview, and now you use those sources as you move into step 3. Okay. And if anybody has problems with that, let me know. Okay, so let's just go to Easter egg number 1. Again, I'm going to say keep the entire project in mind. I really want you to have that holistic view of what we're doing here, not that it's so compartmentalized that we're just doing these different assignments every module. No. Again, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 1, identify a complex problem, something that could, benefit from interdisciplinary analysis. Discuss that problem and give us some background information on it. Step 2 is to justify an interdisciplinary approach. That is to define this problem's complexity as well as in this case, the disciplines that are going to be used to analyze it, why they're appropriate, why they can and should be integrated. Okay, that's step 2. Step 3 was to find background information on the research. This is what researchers always do. They got to see what's out there because they're building on it. So as a researcher, it can be done a couple different ways. You can do it through a literature review. You can do it through an annotated bibliography, which is what we're choosing here, to give you a familiarization of what's out there in the disciplines that you've chosen. That's step 3. Step 4, it's going to get a little more complicated because you're going to be doing 2 things at once, kind of. You're going to be working on this paper that we'll talk about, but you're also going to be putting together your survey and collecting your data, which we're going to talk about, okay? So now, that was Easter egg number 1. Okay, so for reading Tanner chapter 12, the value of interdisciplinary studies, it's about 5 pages. Tanner number 2, Tanner chapters 13, 14, 15. My God, it's about 28 pages. And then you've got the following attachments that are in there. Benson's 5 arguments against IDS. Thomas Benson was great interdisciplinarian, played devil's advocate, okay, on this, the 5 arguments against IDS. So he's actually an interdisciplinarian, but he's going to show you 5 arguments about, why this shouldn't be a thing. Devil's advocate. And then read Newell's response to Benson. That Bill Newell, who was the first president of the Association of Interdisciplinary Studies, now the Association of Integrative Studies. And Bill Newell kind of responded then to Thomas Benson's argument. And that's about 14 pages. Both those are PDF forms. Very interesting, especially in terms of how do you not only defend, but how do you promote your discipline? How do you promote your skills as an interdisciplinarian? Okay, so now November 20th, I think I changed, I don't know if I changed the date or what, survey links are due. Do not do your survey yet. It's very important to have your link, because without it, if you don't do a survey, you don't have data. If you don't have data, you can't really pass the course because you're not doing a research project. Okay, so everybody has to do a survey. I am going to show you how to do that survey. I'll probably post that video Tuesday or Wednesday on how to create your your survey, and you'll be able to get going on it. There's going to be some very specific instructions on that, so you can start thinking about questions that you're going to ask random adults about your topic. Yeah, I'd encourage you to start thinking, but don't put anything together yet till I give you a video that explains how, okay? Here's a hint. There are 0 yes or no questions. In other words, there are no binary questions where it's either or, okay? That's too definitive, either or. It's kind of like asking me, do I like Asian food? No, yes. Well, I'm in the middle somewhere, okay? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So instead of yes, no, we're going to use a scale of intensity, like 0 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. So people can choose their intensity instead of yes or no. So ideally, one side would be hell no, and one side would be, oh yeah, but there's always that middle. So that's why we're going to get away from yes or no questions. I will reject your survey outright if there's a yes or no question in it, okay? Now, I think I found one exception to that rule in all the hundreds of surveys I've seen. So, just remember that. Okay. There's also no fill in the blank questions. I take that back. There's one fill in the blank question, and that's age. Age is a fill in the blank. You do not use the scale of 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 21. You don't use that, because you're not going to have enough respondents to make that even worthwhile, okay? Because what if you have one person in the 60 to 70 range, and that's me? Well, what am I, 60 or am I 70? I'm 63. So it doesn't make any sense. Just have the fill in the blank. It's the only one. Other than that, it's a quantitative survey. Quantitative means quantity. It means to be able to quantify through quantity. So it's going to be, everybody gets the same choices of answers. Just so you know, there's going to be a lot of multiple choice, choose all that apply, and scale of intensity. Okay? We'll get into it. I think I just did, but we'll get into it more. And we're going to be using Google Docs, just to give you a heads up. All right. Easter egg number 2 is survey must be quantitative. Your survey must be quantitative. Got that? Good. Okay. So there's a discussion, becoming an interdisciplinarian, and that's going to have a lot to do with what you've read from Thomas Benson and, is it? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, you're going to utilize, mention, cite, but you don't need to do a reference list. The Newell and Benson reading. So you could say Newell said this and did this. Benson wants to do this or that. At least I know you read it then, okay? So as well as any other readings, okay, like the text, okay? And you're going to identify some key characteristics of becoming an interdisciplinarian, including interdisciplinary learning, writing, and research. Number 2, what do you see in yourself that resonates with these characteristics? Remember that interdisciplinary studies is an academic scholarly field that can be applied to many areas of real life. And remember the key word, integration. Remember when you start mentioning multiple disciplines, you're talking about multidisciplinarity. When you mention multiple disciplines and then mention integration, then you're talking about interdisciplinary studies, right? Okay. All right. So the instructions are fairly clear, but I want to make sure that you do this. You do not do this. One long paragraph without breaking it up. I won't even read it. I'll ding it. That's what it is. You got to show respect to your readers and yourself by writing in an organized fashion. Not just throw it down there, let everybody else figure it out, right? Okay. And then I want you to make sure that you make it clear as to which prompt you're answering. You can use paragraph breaks and line breaks instead of paragraph indents. So tough to do that. Okay. 300 words, up to 30 points. Respond to two of your peers for 5 points each. Okay. Then we get into Tanner Step 4. Okay. Tanner Step 4, there's a great example in there, a sample, I should say. You're going to restate your purpose that you did in the first step, I believe it is, or the first step, I think. But you can step it up now that you're a little more familiar with what's going on. Restate your purpose of doing this study, but step it up a little bit, okay? Use better terminology, and remember the purpose of the study is not to solve anything, cure anything, reveal anything. Your purpose of the study centers around adding knowledge to this topic through integrative research, okay? And then you're going to look at the disciplinary perspectives of each of your three disciplines. That is, look at the sample. What is the perspective of that discipline, especially when it comes to your topic? Okay, because if you take sociology, but your topic is Black Lives Matter, it's going to be a different perspective, perhaps, than it would have on, let's say, domestic violence or something. So consider your topic always when you're talking about your disciplines. All right, so you're going to look at those three disciplinary perspectives. You can, make them clear. Don't just bullet point at one giant paragraph. Okay. I mean, I don't care if you subsection them and use paragraphs, that's even better, okay? Then you want to do patterns, connections, and common ground. Okay. The patterns, connections, and common ground. This is where you talk about how your disciplines interact. So now this is why I have three disciplines, because let's think about this. If you only had two disciplines, okay, then you'd say, okay, let's look at discipline one versus in discipline number two. How do they interact? That's it. No. Let's say you had four disciplines. You'd have to take 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 2 and 4. You have a lot of work to do. Here's your sweet spot. 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3. That's it. Okay? But you need to write about discipline 1 and discipline 2, discipline 2, discipline 3, discipline 1 and discipline 3, and then you got them all. Right? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, and 2 and 3. That you got them all. All right? And then you're going to look at areas of conflict. How do these disciplines butt heads? Okay, so let's go back to the connections. Sociology and economics, how do they connect? What's their connection? A connection might be the fact that sociologically, the economic situation of a particular group or area is really important, probably in how the quality of life and health and all this stuff matters, right? But if you look at sociology and why is this opening? Look at sociology and economics in terms of butting heads is I'm gonna text my son, I guess. Okay. Look at budding conflict, areas of conflict between sociology and economics. Okay. Sociology, how do they have conflict? And if they don't have much conflict, you can say, well, economics is very numbers based. It's almost scientific in a way. Yes, it has things to do with business now, but it's a very quantifiable type discipline, whereas sociology, everything goes into that, right? That's interdisciplinary to begin with. It's got a lot of humanities in there. It's got a lot of, qualitative research. So that's how they conflict. And you'll do that to each discipline. So you do 3 with patterns, connections, and common ground, and 3 as areas of conflict, all right? And then from that, I want you to get a new understanding and potential resolutions. I'm going to let you hammer that one out yourself. New understandings, potential resolutions. Remember, do not use I, me, or my in the paper, okay? Then primary data collection analysis subsection. It's pretty standard to step by step what you're going to do, right? What the researcher is, what the researcher is going to do. Look at the sample, contact me. Look at the sample early in the week, contact me if you have any questions, and then get to it when you get to it, of course. It's due next Sunday night. And, if you can get this one done next Sunday night, you're looking pretty good because getting your survey out this coming weekend, perhaps, getting step 4 out, get that done this coming weekend, you really got it good because then there's going to be how much time left in the class. Let's take a look at the calendar. We have November, today is Saturday the 14th. So let's say on the 22nd is when step 4 is due. And let's say you get that survey out that weekend. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to say about 11 days left of the course for final module 7, right? Or 6. Yeah, it's 6, isn't it? Yeah. Wow, only one more video. I'll probably do more though. But you got Thanksgiving weekend in there and such too. But it's going to be so much better and more important and easier for you to get more data for your surveys then, right? By doing that. So that's pretty cool, I think. So stay on task. Let me know if you're falling behind on something. In terms of everybody's grades, I mean, if you're struggling, let me know, but I'll bet you're not, right? Because the way I see this, if I just go to my grades and sort high to low, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of, we've got 16 passing the class. The majority of them are A's. And if you're struggling, you might be close to the cutoff, but you'll get there because you want it. If you want it, you'll get there if you want it. If you don't want it, you won't get there. That's simple, right? All right. So I think that's about it. Contact me if you have questions, comments, concerns. Remember, in terms of the step 4, academic rigor, as always, will be rewarded. It's worth up to 100 points. That's a grade level. Formatting items include, but are not limited to, only Word docs, Times New Roman 12-point font, double line spaced, everything top to bottom, double line spaced. The only extra line you put in there is for change of sections, okay? Use peer-reviewed sources. You've got them now, okay? Yes, you can use them again. If your sources that you found for the discussion board and then for step 3 are that good in terms of what they mean to you and your topic, you can use them for step 4 to refer to because it's all your big research project, remember? We're not restarting our engines every time we get to a new step. We're building on our steps, okay? Please let me know, again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns. I still do phone calls. Easter egg number 3 is academic rigor is rewarded. I'm not going to say it again. Forks up. Peace. Great win by the football team last night, by the way.